What I've realised recently, especially in Western society, girls' preferences in a guy are shifting to a more feminine look. And as much as I hate to say that, the vast majority of women, especially in Western society, are looking for a guy with a more feminine appearance. Okay? That's the TikTok boy style kind of guy with the fluffy hair and clear skin. And to an extent, they are right, because they wouldn't exist if they weren't successful. They're successful because of feminism. Feminism is pushing an ideal on women, which has been taken up by the majority of women, where they can obtain the resources which they used to require men for. So what does that mean? That means a man's value in terms of his resources and what he could do on a day-to-day basis, on the micro, is gone. You don't need to fight anyone anymore as a man because there are laws. You don't need to provide as much as a man anymore because a woman can earn her own money. Equality has been very successful. Of course, there's stigma around gender and race, but to an extent, women do not need a man for what he can provide anymore. So what happens now? So women still want men because that's just how we're wired, but that means they're going for more feminine looking guys because now they're putting looks before what a man can do. Now they're putting attention before what a man can do and where he stands socially. So I would say these days, you could be a very rich young guy, say I'm 18 years old and I earn $100,000 a month, okay? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. However, that is less valuable than if you have clout or hype around what you're doing, and especially with the right age group. If you're making videos like I am now, or more heavily edited ones, or ones where you're pushing a message onto specifically a young audience where that's the age group you want to date within, you need to realize that women will hold that in very high regard. There was a video I watched the other day where, I don't know if it was a rapper or just some random guy, he said girls looked at him a different way the second they knew that he had clout or he was famous online through a YouTube channel or through music or through whatever. If he had contemporary attention, as in attention happening right now, they would gravitate towards him because women are drawn to men who are seen as higher up the social ladder, which would be someone who has clout on the internet. And I would put that before money, because money is very replaceable. Of course, money is very important, but because of how widespread it is and the wide usage of it, that also means that it's replaceable. But in some women's views, at least what I think they think, someone's hype or attention or clout can't be as easily replaced. So what does that mean? It's rarer, and because it's rarer, it's more valuable. And therefore, I think that's why women hold people who are famous online in a very high regard. Now, if you're trying to date 9 and 10 out of 10s, I mean 9 and 10, okay? This isn't like what you think is 9 and 10 out of 10. Of course, if there's girls who you think are 9 and 10 out of 10, of course, go for them, wife them up if you can. If they have great personality and you think they're amazing and they think you're amazing, great, cool. But the true world agreed upon 9 and 10 out of 10s are in a different zone. You can't attract them through looks alone, because looks with men, as with women, are replaceable to an extent, okay? Beauty is replaceable. New people are constantly being born, and beauty is fleeting, okay? You're most beautiful when you're young, and it's temporary. You don't, yeah. And I think if you want to attract 9 and 10 out of 10 girls, you need to be bringing very... Honestly, I think you could be an ugly guy to an extent, but if you have the attention and clout, 9 and 10 out of 10s come after you. That's how important attention is, okay? Understand that. If you want to attract women who are 9 and 10 out of 10s, all you need is attention. Like, you could be an average guy. If you have attention, if there's this aura surrounding you where people just treat you, because for some reason it's weird, it's so fucking weird. Humans just treat people who are famous, and as in this case, get a lot of views, with more respect, with more, like, sort of like a view on them where they're not better than you, but they're just sort of like different from everyone else because of how successful with they are and how many people they're successful with. It's like no one can do that easily. No one can replace them. Money can be generated in so many different ways. It can be built up. It can be just generated through the existence of it, through investing and shit like that. But clout and attention and hype to an extent is a very hard chicken to catch. And yeah, I had this realization when I was watching one of Hamza's new vlogs on his new channel he's created. I do really like that style of content. But yeah, this whole thing flips on the side, by the way, if you're dating women who've been raised in a family where they're not taught to provide for themselves or embrace more masculine traits. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying anything's bad, because everyone has their own preferences. However, I do think a disproportionate amount of women have been not pressured, but lent by, not propaganda, but maybe the education system has played a big role in shaping and morphing and sculpting the ideal of a woman in Western society in 2024. Yeah. And the reason I made this video is because I thought you could attract 9 and 10s just through looks and maybe a little bit of money. But yeah. This is all amplified, by the way. This is all amplified, by the way, because dating is global. So the pool you are dealing with for the girls, everybody wants, is extremely competitive, and it has meant that the most beautiful girl in your town or village or city, well, not so much city, but town or village, as soon as they turn 18, if they're really good looking, they're just on a private jet. Okay, that's dating now. Okay, you need to realize that. So yeah, that was my thoughts on the unrealistic expectations of 9 and 10s, but I am to an extent grateful for that, because once you get to that point, you can clean house. Okay, I'm not saying from experience, obviously. I'm still a fucking virgin, for fuck's sake, but it's just, come on. more people are enjoying and doing things, the more people there are that aren't. Okay? This is to all the 9s and 10s out there, because you're very lucky, because, yeah, very lucky. Yeah. Well, that goes back. I had a point actually where, in my opinion, I think girls peak earlier than men, because, as I said, looks are young and fleeting. But yeah. Hopefully that motivates you to work harder. Thank you for watching.